The fact that you're here today speaks volumes as to who you are and how you love God and how you love your family. Proverbs 22:6 is a verse that you've heard many times. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they get old, they will not depart from it. I like that word train, and I know that you do as well. That word train speaks to intentionality, on purpose. And so for the fact that you are being here tonight, you are saying it is on purpose in your life that you care about the eternal destiny of your children. It's been a number of years ago, but I was sitting in a class at seminary, and a visiting professor was there, and he made this comment, and I've never forgotten it. He said, "The children that you have at your home are your missionaries to the world." And I had never really heard that phrase before, and I had never really been able to couch it just like that, but it changed how I parented. That the kids, the children that I have at home are our representatives to the world to represent Christ. Friends, thank you for being here. God is using you, and the tools that you take away from tonight are going to help you prepare your missionaries for the world. We love you much.
From the day your child is born to the day they graduate, you have 936 weeks. 936 weeks of soccer practice and homework, and teaching them to use deodorant. 936 weeks to instill values, to build character, and to prepare them to face the world. You want to be a great parent, and we're here to help with each moment of parenting gold. Driving your 4th grader to practice, saying goodbye to your 10th grader as he's walking out the door, eating tacos in the kitchen with your 7th grader, tucking your toddler in at night. These moments happen every week, and we want you to be aware of the time you have left, because when you are, you do more with the time you have now. We cue you with easy, just-in-time ideas of things to say, things to do, and things to think about to connect with the heart of your child. Our cues are grounded in God's big story, so your child can discover the power of faith in those everyday moments of life. Every cue fits the context of your child's developmental phase. We cue you when your high schooler won't leave their room, your middle schooler won't pick up their clothes, your 2-year-old won't stop talking. We help you understand these moments, and we help you connect. You only have 936 weeks. You can't afford to waste them. Parent Cue. It's what we do. Download it for free today.
Welcome, preschool families, to our Parent Cue on healthy habits. Tonight, we're just going to be talking about how you can have some critical conversations about healthy habits. I know sometimes you might be thinking at this stage and this phase of life, 0 to 5 years old, what can you be really talking about healthy habits? But we just want to help you understand it's not just about the food that we're eating, it's about physical movement and all of that as well. So just as we jump in, we're talking about how you can establish nutrition, physical development, so that later in life they can just build on this when they get older into elementary, middle school, high school ages, that they already have just kind of some baselines, because you guys as parents have started and incorporated this at a younger age. So my name is Jessica Epping. I am the Associate Children's Director here at First, and we have a guest with us tonight, which is Amy Barnett, and I will let her introduce herself and her background.
Yeah, so I help Jessica on Sunday mornings at church doing the preschool kiddos, and that is what my passion is that these early ages, birth to 5. I've been working with this age group for many years in different kinds of jobs, teaching preschool with special needs kids, and so this is just something that I'm very passionate about, and I know that this birth to 5 year range is super important, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So like I said, this isn't all about just the foods that you're eating. This is all about how we can help you and give you resources and tools on just healthy habits from 0 to 5. So we'll kind of just jump right in. And one of the first one is just beginning a relationship with a pediatrician. I know when moms, you're first pregnant, you have to kind of pick a pediatrician. And so So that's kind of your first marker of setting up a relationship with a pediatrician.
Yeah, and I think this is just a good time for you to start reaching out to your resources, to your friends, to your neighbors, to your family members who have younger kids, that to see what pediatricians they've had good luck with and ones that they haven't had good luck with, because you want to start off right and you want to feel comfortable with that pediatrician, because hopefully they're going to be seeing your kid for several years, and so you want to have a good relationship established with them. So make sure to just get all the information you need from other people, and don't be afraid to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about with at our child dedication and with our families how we partner with you about widening your circle. And so this is just an easy way, and at such a young age, you can start off from the very beginning of widening your circle and connecting with the people that you already are doing life with, and seeing and helping them, having them help you with this decision. So yeah, that's really good. And then along with the pediatrician, also creating a file system or storing system of some sort. I know we had talked about how they used to give you those immunization cards when your kids would go to the pediatrician, and I would just throw it in the diaper bag and I'd always have it with us.
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore.
No, they don't. Now everything is electronic.
Yes.
And you have to remember where you put it electronically.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
that's a challenge. So just make sure that you put it somewhere, right? That you maybe tell your husband as well, so that you
a
can
good
both know where it's at. But just make sure that you know where to get it from, and know that they also keep it on hand, so you can always call them and they can email it to you, sent to you in the mail. I know personally that has been done several times
Yes.
in our lifetime, in my kids'
that.
lifetime. So.
Yes, I agree. I have done that as well, and that is nice that they do have it on hand and they can email it to you if you lose it for some reason.
Yes.
So, another from 0 to 1, we're talking about how you would be starting to introduce different foods into your kiddos' lives, and so they're going to start eating real food, and so yes, at this age, you're going to start incorporating different kinds of food, and they say once you incorporate one, to kind of wait 3 to 4 days just to kind of see if they have an allergy to those foods. So just start incorporating different kinds of foods.
Yeah, and just keep giving those foods to them. Even if the first time you give them a certain food and they spit it out or act like they don't like it, it doesn't mean necessarily that they don't like that or they'll never like that food. It's just their taste buds are trying to get used to all the different kinds of foods, and they're constantly changing. So keep giving them those foods even if they spit it out, because they're going to eventually hopefully like them. And give them foods that you don't like as well. Peas
Yes.
was a hard one for me, I'll be honest. I do not like peas. But I made sure to give my kids peas so that way they would have that experience and be able to decide for themselves if they like it.
Yes, I love that. I love that because they may like foods that we don't like, and that's a good thing.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Very good. Okay, now we will jump over to our 2 to 3 year old age group, and still another one for pediatrician visits. This is just staying up on all of your visits and your immunizations if that's something that you guys choose to do, but kind of just staying up on those well visits for your kiddos.
Yeah, and this is a time also that you're probably going to start having questions about their development. How are they doing with their speech development? How are they doing with their physical development? And some concerns might arise during the time. So make sure that you talk to your doctor when you're there. Ask them, is this normal? Is this not? Is this, okay for their development? Make sure you utilize them as a resource. There are some great milestone checklists that you can find online. There's also a milestone checklist app that you can download that you can pull up the age of your child, and it gives you the things that your child should be doing at that age, but then also some ideas and some ways that you can help them with that area of development. So I think this is a great one to go ahead and start checking on that physical development and the language development and all that stuff, just to make sure that everything is going well. We will link those resources and put the name of the app in the chat while you're watching it live.
Yes, and then if you're watching it after that we're live, we'll just put it down in the description, and so you can click on those links and have those tools and resources for you, because those are great resources for you to just kind of see how your kid is, where they're at, and if they may need some help, or they just, you look at it and you're like, okay, they're right on track, so we just keep going.
And I know as a first-time mom, even with my knowledge of early childhood, sometimes you just kind of forget, right? You forget the things that they are capable of.
Right.
And so it's nice to be able to have a checklist to see those things that they can do so that you can start working on that.
Right. Our next one is talking about playing outside and resting often. Let's just kind of talk about playing outside.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, they are physical kids and they are developing at this time. They're probably walking, running, and so we talked about how just being outside and being on different surfaces is really good developmentally for kids at this age.
Yeah, we need to make sure to give them as many opportunities as we can for different things for them to climb on, for them to walk on, run on, just to be able to develop that physical development, all those muscles that they're working on. I feel like that 1 to 2 range is huge. They go from crawling to running within a year, and that's a big span. And so we want to give them all the opportunities that we can to be able to develop that physical development that goes along with the healthy habits.
Right. The other one is talking about rest often. And so this is kind of an interesting one, because some kids are nappers and some kids aren't. And it's just interesting to see how so many kids, they could be the same kid. My son was a napper. Well, kind of. Sophia was way a napper. Like, she needed a nap. But so kids are different, but they say they need like 11 to 14 hours of sleep a day.
Yes, and that's throughout the 24 hours, right? That's including a nap. So if they take a great 3-hour nap, which if that's the case, you are a lucky parent, then that means, around 10 or 11 or whatever is what they should be doing at nighttime. So this is when those routines are gonna start to be in play, because we want them to be able to be in routine so their body knows when naps and when bedtime is coming. That's how they're going to get the best sleep. That's kind of like us. Adults are the same way. I know I have realized that my body functions best at 7 to 8 hours, right?
Yes.
And so that's the way kids are as well. And so if you can keep them on a routine as best as you can, we know life happens, and so it's not going to happen every day. But to be able to keep them on some kind of routine, that just helps their body to get the sleep and the rest that they need to be able to do all this physical development and learn and play.
Yes, I think we kind of talked through at one point that some kids just may not seem tired. I had a son that my oldest is a boy, and he would just go, and never really seem tired. And so, but it was like, but we would go lay him down for a nap and he would crash right out. So sometimes they may not seem tired. My daughter, on the other hand, she would ask to go take a nap. Is it nap time? And I'm like, not yet. Like, we can wait a little bit. So kids are just very different, and even in your own family. So, so yes, just creating a schedule and just kind of sticking to it, even if they don't seem tired.
Yes.
So. Yeah. Okay, the next one is limiting sugary treats. I'm just going to be totally transparent. I was not very good at this as a mom. I gave a lot of fruit snacks out. And but kids like other things than just sweets. If you're doing like potty training, sticker charts are awesome, because kids like sticker charts just as much as they like fruit snacks. And so,
well, and I've even had some parents tell me that like their kids love blueberries.
Yes.
Or frozen grapes is a good one because it's different, you know. So even if there's something healthy like that they think is a special treat,
Yes.
utilize that for sure.
Yes. So just incorporating just healthier treats or rewards
Yeah.
to an extent.
Yeah,
So-
and also I wanted to kind of talk about that 1 to 2 range for the food as well. That we've kind of chatted about how some parents feel like their kids don't eat very much during this time because the kids are asserting their independence. That is the big one for the 1 to 2 range. Well, we get to 3s as well, but 1 to 2 range is really where they are wanting to assert their independence. With the food is the way that they can control. That's the one thing they can control, what goes in and out of their mouth. And so that can be a frustrating time. So just start making that meal time at that 1 to 2 range a positive experience. All sit down as a family. You know, even in that 1 to 2 range, that's important. They want that social interaction, and we want to begin that now, and that sets them up for later in life, even for when they're teenagers, so that that's a positive experience, so that is a great time for conversation.
Yes.
So I think that this 1 to 2 range is huge for that. Also, parents will say they just don't eat very much. And so we as parents, I feel, forget portion size at this age.
Yes.
We load up their food, we put a plate probably similar to ours, and then they eat 3 to 4 bites and they want to get down, and we say, oh, they didn't eat anything. But portion size for them is just like a tablespoon per year. So you figure for a 1 to 2 year old, 1 to 2 tablespoons of each thing is really what's appropriate for their age.
Yeah.
So just keeping that in mind as you're feeding them throughout this time. I feel like this is a good foundation time for that.
Yes, just portion sizes. I love that because I grew up kind of like finish your plate of everything
Yes.
on it. And so this is just a good, healthy habit just to start portion sizes.
And you don't want to make it a negative thing. You don't want it to
No.
be a struggle. You don't want it to be something that you dread as a parent or as the child ends in crying. Like, you want the meal to be a positive time. So, you know, whatever that looks like for you, just try to figure that out, how it's going to best fit your family's needs.
Yes, I love that about having just a positive experience with dinner time because growing up too, like even though we were supposed to finish our food, it was one of the best times
Yes.
and memories. Like we had the funnest time laughing and sharing stories and crying, I'm sure at some point.
Yeah.
But we have so many memories of that. And even today with our families, with our kiddos at home, dinner time at our house is one of the things that I really look forward to, and it's
Yeah.
just a fun time to be together.
Yeah, and as they even get older, I mean, I know
Yeah.
we're talking at preschool, but
Yes.
as they even get older, they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone so much. And so you don't get to have the whole family there very often
Yes.
for that dinner time. So to be able to utilize and start helping the kids to know at a young age that dinner time is important, and when everybody is there together, that it is a precious time.
Yes. Yes.
So.
And remember, parents, like if dinner time or lunchtime is hard, remember that this is just a phase.
Yes.
This is just a phase and it goes away quickly. So just remember, you're doing a great job and it's just a phase.
Yes.
Okay. So let's jump into like 3 to 5 year olds. Talking again, just having an annual visit with your pediatrician. I think we kind of hit that several times, but again, also incorporating the dentist now. And so
Yes.
that can
Oh,
be kind of scary.
Yeah.
But they recommend starting at like 3 years old going to the dentist. And so this is another one where you use widen your circle, talk to your friends and family, and ask them who they use and maybe find somebody that works best for your kiddos.
Yeah, and I think preparing the kiddos for that visit is great. So there are a ton of books out there. Go to the library, look up some books about going to the dentist, going to the doctors. Because even in the 1 to 2 range, the kids, you know, they're going to the doctors. But then the 3 to 4 range, sometimes those fears start to show. And so talking to them ahead of time and preparing them is just going to help them the most, as well as role playing at home. Role playing to be a doctor and have them be a doctor and you the patient, or the dentist and have them look in your mouth and you look in theirs. Role playing that is also huge for these visits, I feel.
Yes, I love that. Just preparing your kids for what they're going to be walking into. That's a great one. Another thing is cooking and baking with your kids. I'm a little OCD, and so my cleaning, and so this was hard for me when my kids were young. But even today, my daughter will be like, "We're such messy bakers," and I'm like, "Oh, are we?" And so I've had to get over that, because it's just not just the time that we're spending together. Is so much fun, and just getting to do that together. But there's so many things that they can learn, and with their development at this age, with cooking, right?
Yes. I mean, you're working on language development while you're talking about the different ingredients you're putting in, how many things you're putting in, you're counting, you're talking about what's it going to look like now, what's it look like now, what's it going to look like at the end. So we got some science going on in there. You are probably going to hopefully have them help clean up. So they're going to feel this sense of purpose, and so just to be able to know that it's not just cooking and baking. The kids are getting so much during just even this one time. So one-on-one time with their parents, connecting with them, spending one-on-one time is huge for them. So I feel like this is a big one. And this was one that I always did with my kids when they were younger. Like you said, it can be messy, but that's okay. Like, messes can be cleaned up, and it's all right. So I wholeheartedly believe in all of the cooking and baking together and doing that. Plus, if you can get a recipe that has maybe some healthy stuff in it, they're more apt to eat it because they fixed it and they're excited about it. So they'll probably, just dig in when you didn't even think they could.
Yes. So. Yeah, that's an easy way to just incorporate some healthier choices.
Yes.
Another one is teaching hygiene. We talked about independence, that they're growing their independence. And so this is another one where they can start to incorporate their own healthy habits of hygiene, of washing their bodies and brushing their teeth on their own. So these are good times for they to start incorporating independency.
Yeah. This is another area in this 3 to 4 range. The food, the meal time is big, 1 to 2 ranges, starting independence, and then I feel like the basic hygiene is big for the 3s and 4s. Just wanting for them they want to do things on their own, right? They want to probably dress themselves, which is kind of hard. When it's hard, whenever you're trying to get someplace and you are in a timeline and they're fighting with you because they want to wear certain clothes or they want to dress themselves.
Put their shoes on all by themselves.
Yes, that can be difficult. So this is a time that you want to give them as many choices as you can to help them to feel like they are a part of the process.
Yeah.
Giving them independence. The good thing about being a parent and giving them 2 choices is that you get to give them 2 positive choices. So you get to give them the 2 choices that you're okay with. So as parents, I think sometimes you feel like you're giving in if you're letting them give choices, and you're not just saying, well, you have to do this. But you're giving them choices to help them to feel independent and to feel like they're in control. Some kids are fine. If you tell them to go, to take this one, they'll just take it and go on. Some kids have a harder time. I had one of those. And they don't want you to tell them what they are going to do, and they want to do it their own way. And so giving them 2 positive choices just helps that time frame to where they feel like they are more in control. Also, giving them choices during these times that are easier to do helps them to hopefully have less, discipline issues, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that, like throughout the day, you might be saying, oh my gosh, every part of the day is a fight. But if the more choices you give them, the more it's going to be less of a fight, if that makes sense.
Yes, so they feel like they are involved in the decision making,
right?
And they have some control.
Yes.
So even though you really are giving them choices that you are okay with, they feel like they are empowered at some point.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I love that. Also with the hygiene, this is where they can start to do it themselves, like brushing their teeth and washing their bodies, like when they're in the tub. They can start doing that themselves. Yes, you might have to come behind them and finish up and kind of do it the right way. Not really necessarily the right way, but doing it a better job of getting to the areas and their teeth. So yes, so this is just another way of just letting them do it, but then coming back and saying like, Mommy's turn now, I'm gonna do the top.
Yeah, and this is a time, even if it's just brushing your teeth, say, that you can give them that choice. Okay, I'm gonna brush your teeth and you're going to, do you wanna do it first? Do you want Mommy to go first?
Yes.
So they can have that choice. And then that way they can do it, and then whichever way they choose. And then that way they know what to expect. And so, and you get to finish up whatever needs to be done, because as we know, they probably usually just suck on the toothbrush or
chew on it,
or chew on it, and so we usually have to get in there.
Yes. So that is those are good ones that you can use from as they start to be more independent. Families, thank you for just allowing us to partner with you. And hopefully tonight our Parent Q over healthy habits was informative for you guys and gave you some resources and tools that will help you. Thank you for